And I think, the best thing I can say is that Charlie is a fighter, and he's one of the strongest guys I know, both physically and mentally. So, you just have to hope that he's going to be able to fight through this. He's had some health issues over the last couple of years that really taken a toll on him, but he continues to fight back and battle back and get back into the press box and get back to the ballpark where he just absolutely loves to be. So, our thoughts, I'll echo what you said. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and with his wife, Missy, as he, faces this next challenge. And, we're hoping to get some good news today that maybe he's made a good turn for the positive, but I haven't heard anything yet. So.
All right, sounds great. We're all pulling for Charlie, that's for sure. But let's turn our attention here, and this is what Charlie would probably want us to do, is to turn our attention to this baseball team that we have on this field right now. The beginning of the week, not so good. We're going to dive a little bit into that Braves series and what it's looking forward to as we get into these next 2 to 3 weeks towards the postseason. But the Phillies have salvaged the week, especially these last couple days here in St. Louis. Hasn't always been easy. In particular, Friday night, they kind of gave us all a little bit of our heart palpitations for sure. But if you look at the overall, the general consensus here for this team, the Colorado Rockies are helping out this Phillies team for sure. They're knocking down the Giants out of this wild card race, and they handled their business with the Chicago Cubs earlier in the week with taking 2 out of 3. And man, that I don't know if you followed it. You're probably doing what I'm doing too. You're following these out of town scores and everything. That game last night between the Diamondbacks and the Cubs was just incredible. Going 13 innings and the Diamondbacks coming back. But, man, the Phillies right now hold a 3.5-game lead over the Cubs for the top wild card spot in the National League. The magic number to clinch home field for the wild card round at the bank is now down to 10. So any combination of Cubs losses, Phillies losses, or whoever winds up hurdling over the Cubs, if they do so in that wild card race, that equals the number 10. We'll go ahead, and the bank will be the place to be come that first week of October. It's pretty hard to see, this being the case, especially after how that Braves series went, Murph. The Phillies have played the Braves hard this season, and we've talked about this numerous times on this program. If anybody plays the Braves better than Phillies since the end of 2018, I'd like to see them, because the Phillies were the only ones that were playing 500 ball against them. But man, to see what they've done these last 2 days and have an opportunity to sweep and really knock this number down, take it down into single digits. It's pretty phenomenal stuff that the Phillies are doing right now.
Yeah, it is. And before I get to the Braves part of the conversation, someone on Twitter put this up today. Explaining the Phillies is the account. So I want to give them credit. Explaining the Phillies, the Twitter handle. But they say if the Phillies end the season 7-7, so 14 games left to play, and the Phillies, if they just go 500 from here on out, the Cubs and the Marlins would have to go 11-2 to catch them. The D-backs and the Reds would have to go 11-1 to catch them, and the Giants would have to go 13-0. So, the chances of the Phillies getting that number 1 wild card spot, pretty darn good at this point. It's just the way the math is going to work out. The Phillies just have to play 500 ball, and I think they'll play a little bit better than 500 ball throughout their final 14 games. So, I have them at 9-5 probably in the final 14. So
it's a 90 wins.
Yeah, and that does. It gets them to 90 wins, which is also a pretty cool thing. So, to your point about the Braves, look, the Braves are the best team in baseball, and I don't think it's really close, to be quite honest. You can make an argument perhaps for the Dodgers, maybe make an argument for an American League team, but I think the Braves are the best team in baseball. They've got it all. They've got power. They've got hitting for average. They've got speed. They've got defense. They've got pitching, and they're an outstanding team. That said, they're also beatable in the postseason. It only takes a really good outing from a starting pitcher and a guy who doesn't have his best stuff on any given day to win a baseball series, and that's what we saw last year as the Phillies made their run, and hopefully that's what we see this year. Certainly the Braves are the favorite, but all the pressure is on them at this point. Anything short of a World Series I'll say anything short of a World Series, um, getting to the World
Appearance.
Series for the
Yeah.
Braves, appearance, would be a disappointment. I really think winning the World Series is really the only thing that can satisfy at this point after the season they've had. But if they get to the World Series, that might be enough. But anything short of that, I think, is going to be a disappointment for them.
So, obviously it was a 4-game series. It wasn't meant to be a 4-game series. There was a game that got rained out back in June, but it was a 4-game series. And, everything else, all the chips fall down on the table, at the beginning of this week here, despite losing those 3 out of 4 at home this week, and now we're 3-7 against the Braves. They have 3 games left against them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. What have we learned about this Phillies team against the Braves? And I'm telling you right now, Murph, the Braves know, and Brian Schnicker said this the other day, I believe it was after the Tuesday game, this is the team that they least would want to see come October and within the next 3 weeks. I'm sure that they are hopeful that the Phillies get knocked off in the wild card round, because as things stand right now, and the way that they do the bracket in baseball, whoever comes out of that top wild card spot and the second wild card spot automatically goes to the top seed. And, barring a complete collapse and the Dodgers, taking over that top seed, the Phillies and the Braves are on a collision course for that NLDS again this year. Best of 5, 3 of those games in Atlanta, 2 in Philadelphia. I wouldn't want to away. To be the man, you got to beat the man. That's what Ric Flair always said. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. And right now, I'm not overlooking anybody that we're going to face in that wild card series. It's a best of 3. Anything can happen. But I want the Braves again, in the playoffs. That to me would be the best thing.
Yeah, and I think, to your point, it's the most likely scenario. The winner of that wild card series is going to get the Braves. So they'll just have to take care of business in that first wild card series. It'll be 3 games at home in Philadelphia, more than likely, which I love. No matter who comes in there, whether it be the Cubs or the Diamondbacks or maybe even the Marlins, a surprise team.
Reds.
Or the Reds, yeah. And I guess you can throw the Giants in there as well. But all of those teams have an opportunity. But coming to Philadelphia for a 3-game wild card series, no easy task. And then, I think what we learned about the Phillies and the Braves in that 4-game series is that the Phillies need to play I don't want to say perfect baseball, but they have to play flawless baseball. They can't give the Braves any opportunities. You can't give them extra outs. You've got to limit the walks. You can't get, because they're going to hit their home runs. They're going to get their base hits. So you have to limit what you offer them, because they're going to get a lot on their own. If you're able to, if the Phillies had been able to do that in that 4-game series, they'd probably win 3 or 4 of those games. And it kind of turns the tide and changes the conversation. And that's what Brian Snitker is seeing. He's seeing, if they just don't boot that one ball at shortstop, this is a different game. And it's a different game at that point. The Phils have an opportunity to win those games. So I think what we learned is, as good as the Braves are, the Phillies have an opportunity in the postseason to knock them off, and as long as they play their best baseball.
We've talked a lot about resiliency with this team, and then in 2 of those games, the Phillies had a shot late in the game to win them. In particular, I believe it was Tuesday night's game that they had. To tie that game the way Trey Turner did, and to have an opportunity to win it in the 9th the way that they had the opportunity to win it in the 9th, and to fall short. I mean, the Phillies have had a bunch of these games over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where they've come back late in the game, and then it just they wind up blowing it. Leave a runner on third base, or they can't get the runners over from first to second with nobody out. They get that run in, or the bullpen comes in, and it's just right now. 2 weeks left to go in the regular season. What is your biggest worry with this team as we head to the postseason?
Well, I guess, I don't know if worry is the right word, but I guess if I had to list, what needs to happen in order for the Phillies to be successful, the starting pitching needs to be better than it has been over the last couple of weeks. Even Zach Wheeler, who has been as automatic as we have seen, he struggled in his last outing. Ranger Suarez was terrific last night. That was great to see. They need the guys that have carried them to this point. And the starting pitching has been really good for most of the year. They need those guys to find that final gear, that final, the third wind, the fourth wind, if you will, and kind of push through the fatigue at this point and lock back in, because they're going to need, as every baseball team does, really good starting pitching in the postseason before they can hand it off to their bullpen, get that bullpen set up the way they want it, get their big arms on the back end, take a lead late. So that would be my number one. And obviously the bullpen too, right? You know, we've seen, as you said, a couple of instances where the bullpen has been shaky, giving up late leads. And that's going to happen through the course of the baseball season. You just hope it doesn't happen in late September, early October. And I have a lot of confidence in the guys out there in the bullpen. I have a lot of confidence in Gregory Soto and Jose Alvarado and Jeff Hoffman and Craig Kimball. I really do. These are guys that, with the exception maybe of Hoffman, guys that have done it before, that have been there. And that means so much in the postseason. So is it a concern? I think every team's a little concerned about their arms at this point. But I feel pretty good about where the Phillies are right now.
I got to ask your opinion on this. When the Braves won the National League East on our field on Wednesday night, the Phillies went ahead and they put up there, "Congratulations, Atlanta Braves, 2023 NL East champions." Did that annoy you? Because it annoyed me. But a lot of things annoy me.
Yes. I thought it was a classy move by a classy organization, and that's what the Phillies are, and that's what they do. And I will tell you, and I know you know this already, but I will tell you, and I'll tell the listeners, every ballpark that we went to last year, well, it was two, but that where we clinched, here in St. Louis and in Houston, when they clinched the first time, put up on the board, "Congratulations to the Phillies heading to the postseason. Congratulations to the Phillies wild card winners." It happens in most places.
Is it mandatory?
No, it's not mandatory.
Because I've heard that it is somebody was trying to say the other day it was Major League Baseball mandated that they have to do this.
I doubt that. I don't know for sure. I doubt it. I think it's classy organizations showing sportsmanship and saying, "Hey, nice series. You beat us. Congrats." Or, "Hey, terrific season. We'll see you in the postseason, Atlanta, but congrats." I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think it's great.
I think Atlanta, for me, they wanted to win it on our field because we knocked them out of the playoffs last year. Exactly. And for me, I hope the Phillies take that, compartmentalize it, put it in the back of their brains, and say, "Listen, if we get that opportunity again," and I don't know if the Phillies are going to win it in 3 or 4 in the NLDS if they get there and they play the Braves again and they're lucky to do it on their own home field, but we're going to do it on your home field this time. And I really hope that that's what they're doing. And you could kind of see that with how they played. Very choppy on Friday night, a lot cleaner brand of baseball last night. Yeah. But maybe down the stretch, this is something that's going to light them a little bit more internally. I'm looking, do I want to try and save this? Yes. All right. I'm going to save my next part because I know some people are clamoring for it on the board here. So I'm going to save this. This is going to be a tease when we come back on the other side. Hey, yes.
Before you go to break, though, Zach, I did just get an update just a minute ago on Charlie Manuel. Can I
please
pass that along? Yeah, I
absolutely.
Think it's so according to the Phillies, this morning they received a positive update on Charlie Manuel from his wife, Missy. He has made progress over the past 12 hours, and the doctors are encouraged. So that is great news for Charlie. They said the first 24 hours was going to be the most critical for him, and that seems like a positive development. I just wanted to pass that along.
Incredible. Thank you, partner, for that. And that's great news on Charlie Manuel for sure. Hey, guys, make sure you don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season or football. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jameson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Epic game day experiences are at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. Coming up on the other side, we're going to try and get another update on a former Philly or a Phillies broadcaster because we want to know, did he get to the Gateway Arch this morning? On 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, this is Baseball Brunch. We'll be right back right after these messages.
The annoying runny nose, the constant
Sorry.
sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a
are we on there?
natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages
Did you get my
seconds.
text?
Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies.
Just want to make sure we don't have the same stuff.
Medications treat the
Okay.
symptom. Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
We are happy to introduce to you for the first time the fully renovated Ludlam Hotel at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Yes, the old La Costa. With the renovation completely finished, you'll enjoy 3 new bars and restaurants, a seasonal menu, and registered guests even receive complimentary beach tags. Check out ludlamhotel.com. That's Ludlam, L-U-D-L-A-M hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829.
What do you think is going on?
Something has weaponized the seas against us.
Tuesdays on the CW.
I think we're looking at a new species.
From the producer of Game of Thrones, it's the new series, The Swarm, based on the best-selling novel.
There have been other people infected. None of them survived.
What the hell is that?
The tide
We need help. I repeat, we need help now. No!
has turned.
We have a weapon, and we should use it.
The Swarm, Tuesdays and streaming free the next day on the CW.
Greater Philadelphia Health Action, GPHA, providing medical, dental, behavioral health, pharmacy, child development, prenatal, pediatrics, adults, specialty services, and more. COVID-19 vaccine and testing available. 11 locations throughout Philadelphia. Telehealth and on-site appointments available. Schedule an appointment today by calling 1-888-296-GPHA. That's 1-888-296-GPHA, or visit their website at gphainc.org.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The Gambler, Philly's home for all things sports gambling.
Welcome back. Second segment here, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This is Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. I am Sack. He is Murph. We are brought to you by Premier Window Cleaning, the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience. They offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check. At Premier Window Cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of their services, give them a call at 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to their website, WeHateDirtyWindows.com. That's WeHateDirtyWindows.com. All right, partner. The masses want to know. The masses want to know, as we teased at the beginning of the show, and we kind of talked about with your partner on the radio, yesterday and today, Kevin Stocker. He teetered along the wall, saying that Schwarber was going to home run. I think he was 0 for 16 in that moment in time, and then he wanted you to give him credit on it. which I don't think he deserves credit. There is one man that does deserve credit, though, and that is John Kruk. I mean, phenomenal stuff. First of all, you're doing a great job on radio, and we're going to touch base on this a little bit later on towards the end of the segment about how you're doing on the radio. Fransky, putting him with LA was one of the greatest things that they ever did. Him and Kruk are just like, it's incredible listening to those two go at it, because Fransky just feeds the beast the whole entire time and, coerces him into this bet here. And it couldn't have happened any better. It wasn't like it was a majestic shot. It was a line drive that just barely went over the wall. So the masses want to know, did John Kruk make it to the Gateway Arch this morning in St. Louis?
Yeah, so I can see the arch from where I'm sitting right now, and I see someone dangling from the very top. So I'm not sure if that's John or not. No. Here's what I know, and obviously I was on the air on the radio, so as it was happening, I didn't hear it, but I've been caught up on everything. I saw Scott this morning when I was leaving for the ballpark, and he said that they actually, he or somebody, the producer Jeff Halleckman, tried to get a ticket this morning for John to get over there, despite John saying, I don't really want to do this, but they were sold out this morning, so he was not able to get over there. Whether or not he would have gone, I don't know. John is scared of heights, and he did not want to do it. I also would absolutely refuse to go up in the arch. I'm claustrophobic. I'm not afraid of heights.
I was going to say, it's not so much the heights; it's how you get up there.
Yeah,
I think it's a 4-minute ride. Yeah, when me and Rach were out there last year for the Wild Card Series, listen, I have no desire pretty much to ever go back to St. Louis again in my life. I did what I needed to do. I did the Arch. I went there. I saw Busch Stadium. I retired Pujols and Molina. I was happy with myself when I left St. Louis. If I never go back, I'm okay with that. But you're right. It's not so much the height. Because like when you're up there, like you can lean like over the wall and kind of look down through the window, and you can see the ground. It's beautiful views up there. I think you're only up there for about 12 to 15 minutes in total, but it's like a 4.5-minute ride up and it's 3 minutes down. And what it does is it's like you've seen Willy Wonka. It's the Wonkavator. I mean, you can fit like 5 people in this pod, and it kind of contorts itself on its way up both the north and the south side of the tower. Nope. So if you're claustrophobic, I understand. Heights, come on. You're not up there that long. You don't have to go near the window or the wall. Just kind of stand there and take a couple pictures but listen, he can't go back on this now. He's going to have to do it at some point along the line. If you're going to be respected, as a broadcaster and as a former player, you got to live up to this. And, Kyle Schwarber's going to hold him accountable for that.
That's the key. That is the key. I think that Kyle is going to make sure that this happens. I apparently they told him about it on the post-game interview.
Oh, it was awesome.
And yeah, so awesome. if anything, if this is going to happen, it's going to be because Kyle Schwarber won't let it go. And John said he would do it the next time he came to St. Louis, but knowing John, he'll make sure he never comes to St. Louis again. But there's something tells me that maybe Kyle will make it happen. I don't know. Maybe it won't happen, but I agree with you. You say something like that on the air, who's the broadcaster that had to walk
Jim
home
Rooker.
from Pittsburgh when he said that if they come back in this game, I'll walk all the way home. And he did. You have to stick to your word. John's a man of his word. John understands the predicament that he is in. He said it happened, and now he's trying to figure out, oh, God, do I really have to do this? So we'll see. I don't know.
John did say that St. Louis, we're back in St. Louis at the beginning of next season. I think it's the 8th and the 9th and the 10th of April. So he said that he'll go to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, which I'll be at both nights as well. And, so John can go to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, and then he can go out to St. Louis. So we'll see. But fantastic radio. And before we dive into other things around the league and we look at the playoff picture here. So I had a response last night from your radio partner, Kevin Stocker, because I had to defend your honor. I mean, he posted a picture of you last night talking about what kind of professional you are, doing the pre, the post, and the play-by-play. and how you're carrying the torch right now for the Phillies radio network. The photo that he took with you, though, the selfie, was not very endearing. And I did let Stock know that last night. Is there revenge in the future as far as things are going to go? Because I know earlier in the season we talked about Fransky and Stock pretty much calling you cheap about, where's your wallet and whatnot. And that now they're taking pictures of you like this. I mean, partner, you got to be doing something behind the scenes to get back at these guys.
Well, okay, so here's what I'll say. I think Stocker had nothing but the best intentions with that picture. A, I happen to not be very photogenic. And B, I was in the middle of doing the pregame show, and my eyes were closed and my mouth was open, which is often how it is. My eyes are closed and my mouth is open. So, I don't think it was Stock's intention to not put up a good picture.
Yeah, he was praising. He was praising you.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to give me a comment. So I don't think there's any reason. Maybe he's just not a good photographer, and I'm just not a good-looking fella, and the two together made for a really bad picture. It was like I said. I think he had nothing but good intentions. So no, I have no need to get back to him or back at him. And as far as the cheap part of it, the reason they call me cheap is because I'm the guy that's always putting the credit card up. And so that's what you do. You come after the guy that is always doing that, right? And then you put it out there. So actually, none of us are cheap. That's the cool thing. We all take care of one another, which is nice. And that's true. It's trend across the board for the broadcasters. So yeah, it's all good. If they're not breaking your stones, then you got a problem, right?
No doubt about it. So, all right. So let's dive into this postseason race here. Okay. Because right now we got 2 weeks left in the season. Out of these races right now, and then some of them are already wrapped up. Twins are going to win the AL Central. You have, the NL East is already clinched. The NL West is clinched. Pretty sure we think at this point in time that the Brewers are going to win the National League Central. But man, the other races are phenomenal. Baltimore won yesterday, went back up one game over the Rays in the American League East. There's a 3-team race in the American League West right now. There's an opportunity. There's a shot that the defending World Series champions might not make the playoffs because the Astros, the Rangers, and the Mariners are separated by a game and a half. And then right in that mix, who's taking the third wild card spot because the Mariners wouldn't even make the playoffs if the season ended today with a half game behind the Blue Jays. And then you have 5 teams vying for 2 wild card spots in the National League wild card race that are separated by 3 games. Murph, this is one of the best playoff races in recent memory. And if I can, you're just looking back, obviously pre-COVID for sure. But since COVID 2021 and 2022, I don't remember the races being this great. It's just so many teams are involved, and this is why the trade deadline isn't exactly what it used to be, because so many teams have a shot to get in.
Yeah, and for those people, and there are folks out there that still are not on board with the extra wild cards, the way that it expanded last year, I don't know. I kind of love it because of what you're saying. There are so many teams on, what is it, September 15th today or 17th? I don't know what, 17th. And here we are, 2 weeks left in the season. 2 weeks. And there are teams all over the country that are still having to win every game from here on out to get into the postseason. I think it's awesome. I think it's so much fun. The Braves, they ran away with the division. They clinched. Now they're sitting back and watching everything else happen. But there's something about having to, you wake up in the morning on September 18th and you're like, does my team play tonight? Who are they playing? They got to win. And they won last night. We're back in it. You're a half game out. There's so much. It's so fun as a sports fan to have your team in a position like that. So I think it's great. And you're right. Some of the division races, Baltimore and Tampa Bay separated. Well, Tampa has 2 more losses than Baltimore, so they're percentage points ahead. But Baltimore's been leading that division for most of the season, right? And now Tampa started early, and then Baltimore
since June. I think Baltimore took over around the end of June.
But now here comes Tampa, and then to your point, the AL West is just insane. It's the Wild West, right? And I don't know. I absolutely love it. My rooting interest is obviously right here with the Phillies. and I feel pretty confident that the Phils are going to be in the postseason at this point. So now I'm looking at the scoreboards and watching everybody else and trying to figure out who else is going to get in, whether it be in the American League or the National League. It's great. And the National League wildcard race, the final spot, it's who knows? It could be one of 5 teams at this point.
The final two spots.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like the Cubs aren't guaranteed anything. They're half game up on 2. They're 1 game up on the other. What 3 games up on the Giants? And I agree right here with the unhappy Gilmore. No Strohs would just be terrible news. It would be incredible for them to miss the playoffs.
I said sarcasm there. Yeah.
No doubt about it. Murph, I want to turn it back to yourself real quick. So last night I'm texting with a buddy of mine, Mike Scott, and he wanted me to ask you a couple of questions. And normally, over the first couple seasons that we've done this together, we've had segments where, I ask you questions, ask Murph, and I put it out there to you, and maybe 8, 9, 10 questions in a second segment when it's slow, like the beginning of the season, or once we dive in, it's like right after the All-Star break, and we don't have as much to talk about at that point in time. But with you doing play-by-play these last couple weekends, with Tom McCarthy doing NFL games, and which sends Fransky over to television, is there another event that you would like to call, or you wish that you could call, like the Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby? Is there something that, if you could be the play-by-play, the head guy, what would you like to do?
Well, wow, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, my buddy Kevin Burkhardt, who I've known forever, he was a field reporter for the Mets when I was the field reporter for the Phillies. But before that, he and I worked together at CN8 when he was a part of a show that I hosted. Last year, he called the Super Bowl, and to watch him kind of to take that rise through Fox and get to the pinnacle and call the Super Bowl. Yeah, you can't help but think, God, that would be pretty cool. But for me, I mean, obviously, I would love to call a World Series because I'm a baseball guy, and so that would be an amazing thrill. And maybe someday I'll get a chance, whether it be on radio or television, to call some of the World Series. But if I'm going outside the box, I think I would like to be, I could see myself as the voice of the Masters or the voice of the US, golf. I'm a huge golf fan. I love to watch. Yeah, I love to watch it. And I would love to be a part of a big tournament like that as one of the voices. So that, those kinds of things would be a lot of fun.
Now, I know you said that you used to work with Kevin Burkhardt. Was he there at the same time as Lou Tilley? Because you can't mention CN8 without thinking about Lou Tilley.
Yeah. So yeah, Lou and I worked together. I was at first Lou's producer, and then became an on-air person next to him for many years. And yes, Kevin Burkhardt would come on our show at that point, which was called Sports Connection, and then later when I took over as the host. The name of the show was Out of Bounds, and Kevin was a part of that show as well. So, yeah, I've known Kev for a long time, and he's a terrific talent and one of the hardest working guys in television. So to watch him and to hear him last year have that opportunity, it just was awesome for me.
No doubt. And then real quick, so Kevin Burkhardt, who are some of your favorite play-by-play guys in the business that you like to listen to?
Well, I love the classic voices. I mean, Jim Nantz and Al Michaels, those guys have been doing it forever and doing it at a high level for a long time. I know a lot of people will disagree with this one, but I think Joe Buck is one of the best. I love Joe Buck, and I think he's terrific at what he does. But another one is Dan Shulman, who is he does a lot of national stuff, but he's the voice of the Blue Jays. I think Dan Shulman, he was on ESPN for years. He has an understated way of calling the game, and I've always appreciated that. And when I listen to him, I think to myself, yeah, that's the style that I would like to mimic when you think about how you call a game. So those are a couple of the names. There's so many. I mean, we have 2 here in Philadelphia that are as good as anybody and great to listen to, and Scott and Tom. So we're lucky in that regard. But those are some of the other voices that I like.
Sounds great. All right. So the Green Legion, we're here to tell you it's time to make your reservations for another amazing Eagle season. Head to greenlegion.com to get signed up for Tampa, LA, Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle, or get signed up for day trip games for the Jets, the Giants, and the Commodes. Make sure you check out the Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club bus for those day trips as well. Go to greenlegion.com or call 215-666-5940. That's 215-666-5940. 21 years and counting for the best Eagles road trips around. All right, coming up on the other side in our final segment, did Sack make up any ground last week in our picks? No, I'm not even going to keep on teasing that one. Here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This is Baseball Brunch brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. We'll be right back after this.
Coming to Hulu next Friday and Saturday.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The biggest superstars from all genres of music on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Stream it live only on Hulu.
You will not want to miss.
Next Friday and Saturday, starting at 10 p.m.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Alrighty.
Something has weaponized the seas against us.
Tuesdays on the CW.
I think we're looking at a new species.
From the producer of Game of Thrones, it's the new series The Swarm, based on the best-selling novel.
There have been other people infected. None of them survived.
What the hell is that?
The Tide
We need help. I repeat, we need help now. No!
has turned.
We have a weapon, and we should use it.
The Swarm, Tuesdays and streaming free the next day on the CW.
Premier Window Cleaning is the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. With over 30 years' experience, they offer commercial and residential cleaning with everything from pressure washing to graffiti removal. No job is complete until you're happy, and with clients like Lincoln Financial Field and Chop Roberts, you can't go wrong. For more information, call 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to WeHateDirtyWindows.com. That's WeHateDirtyWindows.com.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple of years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage. End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Quimby with the Green Legion to tell you it's time to make your reservations for another amazing Eagles season. Head to greenlegion.com to get signed up for Tampa, LA, Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle. And get signed up for day trip games to the Jets, the Giants, and the Commodes. Make sure you check out the Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club bus for those day trips as well. greenlegion.com or call 215-666-5940. That's 215-666-5940. 21 years and counting for the best Eagles road trips around.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Rizumkizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Nice,
and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Are you ready to start, manage, and grow a small business? The U.S. Small Business Administration can help with funding and free resources. Learn more at sba.gov/start. That's sba.gov/start.
Okay.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop
You see the update on Charlie?
It's the Gambler.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Final segment here is Sunday morning in the Delaware Valley, and it is beautiful. I can't say beautiful fall day yet because it's still officially summer. Next week's show will be officially in the fall, and I cannot wait because we got football music playing right now, and the Phillies are taking us to another red October, and the Eagles are 2-0. Phenomenal stuff here. If you are a Philadelphia sports fan right now, it is a great time, unless you're a Sixers fan, to be alive. This final segment is brought to you by our good friends over at the Ludlam Hotel in Sea Isle City. Yes, it is the fully renovated Ludlam Hotel at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City, and it is the old La Costa. Make sure you guys go down there and check them out. Yes, summer is not officially over, but you know, it's unofficially over. So, but listen, they're open year round. You guys want to make sure you go down there and check them out. The hotel is open year round. All guests enjoy free Wi-Fi, one free parking spot per room, and the complimentary beach tags for all registered adults. Walking distance to everything. Check out ludlamhotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829 for all your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions. The Ludlam Hotel, your new oasis in Sea Isle City. Murph, we got a couple minutes here because normally we're giving out tickets at this point in time. But your excitement level so far at the beginning of football season, I know you're an avid fantasy football player, just like I am. And, the Eagles are 2-0. So right now, and then they don't play today, which just makes my TV watching life so much easier. Because I can just turn on the Phillies at 2:00 and get to hang out with Fransky and Kruk, maybe turn on the radio and hang out with you and Stock, at the same time. But your thoughts so far in the early going here in football season and how the Eagles are playing?
First of all, I'm going to assume that you're going to listen to the radio, so I don't want to hear any different.
I texted you. I texted you on Friday night. I was listening to you guys. I didn't stay up later than Jose Alvarado almost giving me a heart attack with a 5-4 So I didn't listen to the Friday night roundtable. A little too late for my liking in the Midwest. But yeah, I always text you about the Friday night roundtable. I'm always there with you guys.
All right. Yeah. So you know what? To be honest, I have not gotten a chance to watch a whole lot. I watched about a half of the Eagles game on, what was that, Thursday night. I was out to dinner with Kevin Stocker, and there was a TV where we were, but couldn't hear it, only could see it. And then I came back and I crashed in my room and didn't get to see the second half. So, I am a huge Eagles fan. I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fan, as most people know. But until the baseball season's over, I really don't have an opportunity to sit and watch and kind of digest what's happening with the Eagles. I get most of my information from my two sons who text me during the game. They're like, "Eagles look great. Eagles stink." It's the whole run of the. They're fans as we all are. So I haven't had a chance yet. My fantasy team did win their first game, but that had nothing to do with me. I have two partners that set the lineup and did the draft. So I'm kind of an absentee guy in football until baseball is over. Last year, I think the Eagles were 8-0 before I watched the game, and that's just the way it was because of the way our season went. But hopefully, I don't get to see a game until week 9 again. That would be just fine for all of us. So.
Keenan Harmon is saying we need Murph at a Green Legion home tailgate. I agree.
That can happen easily.
I mean, it would be phenomenal. We'd love to have you down there, but you could have you on the pregame show with us.
Well, we will make that happen, and I would love to do that. You know me; I have a history of traveling with the Green Legion. Been on a couple of trips, and always had a great time. Well before I was ever associated with the radio program. So, yeah, sign me up. Once baseball's over, I'm a free agent. I can do just about anything. So
you could take Diaz's seat. We'll put you in there. Nobody cares what Diaz has to say anyway. But real quick, is Stock there with you in the booth right now?
He just walked in.
Walked in. All right, I know he's a Pacific Northwest kid, right?
He is, yeah.
So is he a Seahawks fan?
I don't think. Well, let me ask him. Are you a Seahawks fan, Kevin Stocker? Grew up a Seahawks fan, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Back in the Jim Zorn era, he was a fan. He and I are the same age, so ancient. That's as we like to say. But not an avid Seahawks fan anymore.
Okay. All right. So he's adopting the Philadelphia lifestyle.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
good on Steve. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So Murph, let's dive into our picks real fast here. I don't mean to say it real fast because I know you're the leader in the clubhouse. I think this is the first time in the 3 years that we've been doing these picks that you and I both hit the over under in the same week.
that might be true. Yeah.
Yeah, because but we both went 1 and 2 last week. You hit the over under in Seattle and Tampa. I hit the over under in Rangers A's. You're at 30 and 30 on the season with 38.5 points. I'm at 29 and 31. And I have 36 points on the season, so I'm 2.5 behind. I got to make up some ground here over these next 3 weeks, or I am donezo. So why don't you lead me off with your favorite today, which I'm already a little peeved because I asked you.
Yeah, you don't like when I do this, but
I hate it when you do this because I want to make up ground, but I don't want the Phillies to lose. And you put me in this predicament today.
Hey, it sucks to be you at that point because I am taking the Phillies as my favorite this week, and I don't do it very often. I think I've done it once other time this year, maybe twice. But I love the Phillies today. I love the way the Phillies are playing against this Cardinals team. This Cardinals team is done, and you can kind of see it with their body language. And Dakota Hudson, he's 6-2, but he hasn't been all that great most of the season. Taijuan Walker, who has 15 wins, he hasn't been perfect either. But I think the Phillies are going to score a lot of runs today, and that's why I like them. So I'm taking the Phillies as my favorite.
That Cardinals lineup is crap. It's crap.
They have guys, but they're just not putting it together. So.
And speaking of, listen, this guy's probably first ballot Hall of Fame. I mean, he's one of the greatest third basemen of our generation. But Arenado last night makes that play 10 out of 10 times.
I said that on the air. Yeah. I agree with you.
I'm not saying that he olayed it, but for the love of God, like if they're in a playoff race, I think he makes that play and he holds the runner at third base instead of letting it go down the line and getting that run. So
I totally agree with you, 100%.
All right, so my favorite for today is the Yankees, -148 on the road in Pittsburgh. They're winners of 3 in a row. Carlos Rodon versus Colin Selby, who is 2-1 with an 8.2 ERA. I'm going with the Yankees today. Give me your underdog.
All right, so my underdog, I'm tapping on an old friend. Nick Pivetta is starting for the Red Sox today. They are underdogs to the Blue Jays. And I don't know. I kind of like the Red Sox chances here. The Blue Jays are -140, so not a huge favorite, but they are still the favorite in this one. I'm thinking Nick is going to, he's 9-9. He is exactly what we thought he was. Nick Pivetta, right? He is. He can be terrific some days, and he can be really not terrific others. I'm hoping for a terrific outing from Nick Pivetta this afternoon in hopes of the Red Sox beating the Blue Jays. That's my underdog.
All right, my underdog is the Reds, not the Red Sox, the Reds at +114. They're at Citi Field versus the Mets. They're going for the sweep today, and they need this game. I mean, the Reds are right there. I think they're holding the third wild card spot right now, and then you have 3 teams on your heels, and they have an opportunity today to put themselves ahead of the Cubs into that second wild card spot.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Reds. That's me and you say this all the time. It's like that line is talking to you, and I should probably be going with the Mets instead of the Reds, but it's just too good of a line, and the Mets have mailed it in. So I'm going to take the Reds there. Give me your over-under for today.
All right, my over-under is Rangers Guardians, Texas Rangers, Cleveland Guardians. The over-under is 8. I have absolutely no reason or logic for doing this, but I'm just taking the over. I think they're going to score some runs. So there you go. That's my scientific way of picking my picks.
All right, see, I have a scientific way of why I'm picking my over. So I'm going over 12 in Giants Rockies. Sean Manaea starting today. So it should be a bullpen game for the Fighting Gabe Kaplers, who are fading down the stretch, and they're going up against Chris Flexen, who is 1-7 with a 7.22 ERA. I think there's going to be a bunch of runs scored today in Coors Field, which normally isn't a prize. So can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
I always love it when I catch my producers sleeping. Watching.
I don't have any headphones.
Watching fantasy football now here in studio. But hey, it's all good. That's why they don't call him the hardest working man in show business for nothing. This John Jansen.
A lot of tough lineup decisions this morning. I'm sorry, Sam.
They don't call him the hardest working man in show business at all, right? I mean, let's be honest.
I'm the only one that does that. All right, Murph. 2 things that we found interesting from this past week in Major League Baseball. Give me your first.
All right, so this originally came from Sarah Langs. We had it last night on the broadcast. Kevin talked about it last night during the game. But the shortest span of games in which a player has hit 4 or more grand slams, Ralph Kiner did it in 48 games. Jim Northrup did it in 45. Travis Hafner did it in 44. And Don Mattingly did it in 39. And now Royce Lewis has done it in 18 games. 4 grand slams in 18 games. I said to Kev last night, it's got to be hard to just get up with bases loaded 4 times in 18 games, right? I mean, that is probably not something that happens all the time. He hit 4 grand slams. That's unbelievable.
He's got a career's worth of statistics with the bases loaded in 18 games than most guys have in their whole career.
You're right.
Yeah, I had that one too, but I have other ones that are always in the back holsters here. Phillies Notes posted this out the other day. Bryce Harper is only the 18th player in Major League Baseball history to reach 1,500 career hits and 300 home runs before turning 31 years old. Full list in chronological order: Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Mel Ott, Duke Snider, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, Johnny Bench, Ken Griffey Jr., Juan Gonzalez, Alex Rodriguez, Vladimir Guerrero, Andrew Jones, Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, and Bryce Harper. And most of those guys are in the Hall of Fame or on their way to the Hall of Fame. Bryce Harper's career is going to end in Cooperstown when it's all said and done, for sure. Give me your second one.
All right, this is from MLB Stats. Ozzie Albies hit number 30. So the Braves now have 5 players with 30 or more home runs. That ties the 2019 Twins for the most 30 home run players on a team in a season in AL or National League, AL or NL history. 30 home runs or more. 5 guys on the roster. It's unbelievable.
They're cheating. I got one from Sarah Langs here as well. Ohtani is going to miss the Angels' final 25 games, but will presumably still win the MVP, a testament to an unreal season. Only 2 players have missed the last 10-plus team games of a season and won the MVP or the Cy Young. 2019, Mike Trout missed the last 19 and won the MVP. And in 1976, Jim Palmer won the Cy Young Award, missing the last 11 games. All right, Murph. So the week that is ahead, we're trying to break out the rooms today in St. Louis with you on the call on the Phillies radio network. And then we head to Atlanta for 3, which hopefully Ronald Acuna, maybe he wants to miss another 3 games with that calf injury. And then we come home and we have a 4-game set against those New York Mets. It's going to be good to come back home, but, handle business today. Hopefully we can take 2 or 3 out against Atlanta while we're down there in the ATL.
Yeah, that would be great. 2 out of 3. The Braves are clinched. They don't have a whole lot of play to play for. So you have to think that they're going to be careful with Ronald Acuna Jr. And if he's not able to play, that certainly helps the Phillies. But that lineup is so darn deep that, even without Acuna, they are a dangerous, dangerous club. So I'm sure they're going to start to try and get their pitching in order, get their bullpen arms where they need to be. For the Braves have earned that opportunity to kind of set their lineup and get to where they want to go. So it'll be interesting to see how they play against the Phillies. But look, the Phillies have the Pirates and the Mets, for 6 before this is all said and done. So they need to go out and take care of business. If they do, they'll be the number 1 wild card.
All right, sounds great, partner. Good luck on the call today. I'll be down at the ballpark on Friday night, so I do have a check for you. So I got to make sure I get that to you. So we'll meet up before the game, which is Scott Rowland night down at the ballpark. So thank you to Super Sam Brady, for setting up today's StreamYard for me, because Slash is off again this weekend. And on the board here, John Jansen, and for Greg Murphy, I'm Chris Sack, and like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard. We are out of here. Let's break out the brooms. Come on, Phillies. Let's keep on going towards that top wild card spot.
Quimby with Green Legion Radio, and here's the deal. When you combine State Farm auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Dave Bavuso is ready to help you combine home and auto in South Jersey and Pennsylvania. Call Dave today, 856-740-5012. That's 856-740-5012. Like a good neighbor there.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys next week.
You all suck.